What is going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be sharing how my experience at Galaxycon Columbus 2024 went. And I'm not going to lie, I had a super fun time. We're going to be covering a bunch of different events going on there, what I ended up doing, who I saw. Me and a group of friends, we all went together, and we stayed at the hotel connected to the convention center, which made it super nice, super convenient. But before we go any further, I did want to mention today's sponsors. We do have Sabers Pro if you guys are looking for a lightsaber, and Evo Retro to protect your guys' collection. So definitely check those guys out in the links below. So day one at Galaxycon, as soon as we woke up, we got ready, got our bags, and we went down to the lobby, and there was already quite a few people there. They had this huge Christmas get up already for the holidays and everything. Had all kinds of stuff. The tree was huge there. It was kind of fun to see that already. And when we went from the hotel, we went straight over to the convention center and to the food court. There we had a late breakfast, kind of an early lunch, just to have something before, because we knew we'd wait in line. This guy, he's a menace, but you guys can check him out at Flutter Reviews. But yeah, we stopped, we actually got some early milkshakes, and my friends here, they got some Chinese food, pretty good stuff, and after we ate, we started walking to the convention center. A lot more security than there used to be. I've been going to Galaxycon every year at Columbus, and this is the most security I've seen ever. It's not a bad thing whatsoever, but they had metal detectors, and definitely more security officers there to keep everybody safe. And keep an eye out. And if you can, remember what this looks like here, guys, coming down the escalator. There is barely anyone here. We got here about an hour and a half, 2 hours early before you were able to get your tickets. So keep that in mind. And it definitely changes, for sure. And this is what it looks like when the line showed up. There is a ridiculous amount of people. This part of the video is sped up like 700 to 800%. Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is like an hour and a half early, 30 minutes this line showed up. Absolutely insane. But Jack and I, we were able to go get our press badges early. That helped us get that footage. And here's what it looks like on the inside of the convention before everyone gets in. And here's a little sneak peek of what it looks like when everyone is in here. I mean, this is the busiest Galaxycon has ever been. This is the third year. Every year it gets busier. I mean, here's what it looked like when they opened the floodgates, guys. I mean, it just did not stop with these people pouring into this convention. It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit of mayhem. It was a little chaotic with some of the help trying to tell people where to go and everything, but it did get handled eventually. My first stop, I definitely wanted to see the 501st booth. These guys always have a really cool setup, and as you can see, I mean, they've got some big life-size statues that you can take photos with, tons of people in costume. You got some Imperial officers here, a stormtrooper. They've got like some life-size props in the back, like that speeder. And they had this really cool giant statue of Emperor Palpatine. Really cool. I'm curious like how they bring this stuff and how long it takes them to set up, because they definitely put the time and effort into it. And here's a couple Mandalorians looking fantastic in the shiny armor, weathered armor. We've got a Quinlan Voss cosplay, and then we've got some Tusken Raider, more Imperial officers, some rebels. Here's a life-size Han and Carbonite you could take your photo next to. This was super cool. Not just the front, they built the whole casing. Very cool. And then we got some droids over here. We've got an opened up R2-D2, which is really cool. You never get to see him opened up like that. And then we've got, I believe it's Q3, correct me if I'm wrong, R3. I think it's R3. He's like the spy that General Grievous uses in the Clone Wars to replace R2. Of course, we've got everyone's favorite war criminal Chopper here, and then another fully assembled R2-D2. And below them, we've got a couple mouse droids. We've got a black and a purple one with like a purple version of that droid Leia has in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And super cool this year, they had a Hu Yang. Hu Yang was really cool to see a life-size version of him. And then they had some armor, some people you could talk to about joining up in these cosplay groups and charity groups. I know this isn't Star Wars related, but this is really cool. They had a Jurassic Park little area where you could do photo ops and things. They brought the Jeeps in. This was really, really cool. They had the big archway to walk in. I loved it. Super, super cool that they have all these extra things. They also have a lot of Ghostbusters things as well. But yeah, this I loved. I love the Jurassic Park stuff. And now we're going to start walking around the convention hall. One of the first things I saw was this table with these super cool artworks of Anakin and Darth Maul. And there's this comic book artist who did some Ahsoka stuff. Super, super cool. If you guys haven't, check him out. His name is John Tyler Christopher. Next, we're walking around. We're seeing some of the collectibles. Here is Vader's Vault lightsabers. These guys had a booth selling some sabers. These were very nice. And I really like the background they had, I'm not going to lie, where it looked like an Imperial hallway with the lights. Super cool. And then walking around, we did get to see this Yoda statue, this life-size old Yoda, dressed up for Christmas. It was pretty funny. Had to get it on camera. He was rocking the Santa hat for sure. And then we do have another lightsaber booth. These guys were at ICCC. This is cool lightsabers. Same guy who was there at ICCC was there here at Galaxycon. Super, super nice guy. Definitely check them out. The guy's super chill. He was giving bulk deals to people. I would definitely check this guy out. They got some really nice lightsabers. There's the banner and the QR code there. Check them out, guys. They're really nice. I could not pass these up here. These were some Lego minifigures of Star Wars characters, and they had quite a few. And I did not even get them all. They're all over the place mixed in. There were hundreds of them. And some of these are custom, some of these are legit, but I just can't imagine how much time that takes, man. That's dedication. And we're just going to walk the convention now. You can see on my right here we've got some comic books. And then, I mean, they have all different kinds of things at these conventions, from comics, cards, statues, collectibles, helmets, a lot of Dungeons and Dragons stuff, a lot of artwork that you can purchase and collect. They had a lot of cool Star Wars art. Here's some statues from the trading card game Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the Blue Eyes White Dragon and the Dark Magician. These are super cool. Next, I started waiting in line because a person I wanted to see showed up at this convention, and that's Patricia Somerset, and she is the voice of Zelda from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Hyrule Warriors. She was super cool to meet. She signed my plaque for the first four-figure statue of Zelda from Breath of the Wild. She wrote a quote on it, signed it, and even wrote it in the language. Super cool of her to do that. Did end up getting Anakin's lightsaber, Ezra's, Yoda's, Mace Windu's. And here are some of the cool cosplays. This Sev was absolutely amazing. Yeah, it was top tier. Then we've got Wolf before he went gray. This was a fantastic cosplay. And then it looks like we've got a Boba Fett, and it looks like a heavy Mandalorian as well. Super cool to see all these cosplays. And then at the end of the night, they were doing like this big rave event. We went to go check it out. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty fun. But that was day one of Galaxycon. Now get ready for day two, because day one was pretty tame. As you can see, this is the line to get in. And it wrapped around 4, I believe, maybe 5 times throughout the entire convention hall. So very easily over 1,000 people in line. Easy. I almost want to say there were 2,000 people in line just to get in. It was absolutely insane. Here's us going up the escalator. I mean, I wanted to start the day off with all these people, and I wanted to know some people's opinions because of how much I love Star Wars. I wanted to know, why do you guys like Star Wars so much?
Well, honestly, I grew up with it. I love everything Star Wars related, not just the world, but the ships and the story. And I love that there's a rebellion, and that, I don't know, that hope is always there.
I was in 4th grade when it came out in, 77?
Yeah.
and that was the best movie I ever seen.
Because it's cool.
The Star Killer's a badass.
It's just different.
It's just one of the first movies I've ever watched.
I appreciate the giant world that they've created. You know, you can imagine yourself anywhere in there in any different way. Just the aesthetic and the ships and everything. It just put me there here instead, please.
If he asked for it, I mean, he said he brought me up with it. Seeing all the moving lights, the lightsabers, the action. I mean, how can you not? So it's a great fandom. Great fandom. So.
And thanks to all those guys for answering those questions. I appreciate it. I didn't stop too many people because honestly, it was getting to be too crowded, almost like a fire hazard, to be honest. Some of the volunteers were saying that they were moving people out of the way, and I didn't want to get anyone in trouble. So I appreciate the people who did answer those questions and talk for a little bit. I appreciate all of you. But besides that, Saturday's a big day because we've got some big people I'm going to try to meet. The goal is to meet Hayden Christensen, Sam Witwer, and Gina Carano. So, you know, Darth Maul, Anakin Skywalker, and Cara Dune. And we're going to walk around a bit until that is available because they're only available for certain times of the day. So we've got to catch them when they're there. So until then, we're just going to kind of relax, see if there's anything that catches my eye. But yeah, guys, this part, you know, just sit back, relax. Tell me what your favorite thing you guys see in the background is for sale. Because there's some pretty cool stuff. A lot of Funkos, a lot of helmets. And honestly, guys, I am going to give you guys some tips and tricks here for Galaxycon. Why not? I got the time. And honestly, like I said, I've been going for 3 years now, and I've gone as press every time. Here are some good ideas to have. One, bring a good-sized backpack. You know, some people say bring drawstrings. You never know what you're going to get. Bring an actual backpack because those drawstring bags, they could snap, they could break, you know. Just keep that in mind. Bring something that's going to carry a decent amount of stuff. I highly recommend bringing water or snacks. Because even though there are 2 restaurants inside the vendor's hall, those lines were never short. There were always like 30 to 50 people in line. And they have like these little pop-up sandwich shops, Subway shops. Those, they constantly ran out of food, constantly. I mean, it's just, you know, just bring something if you're going to get hungry. Bring a decent-sized water bottle. There are water fountains outside the vendor's hall, so you can just go fill those up. Stay hydrated. It gets hot. During the convention, it was like 15 to 20 degrees outside, and when you walked inside, it felt like it was 78 degrees. So it's one of those, you know, dress appropriately. I was going in there in like a hoodie and a beanie, and then when I went in there, I swapped out and I just put on a t-shirt because it was getting so hot in there. It was crazy. Another thing I recommend is downloading the app. If the convention has the app available, always get the app. It's going to have a schedule. It's going to have times for the things that you want. It's pretty accurate. It's always up to date. They do a good job with the Galaxycon app, so definitely download that. It's free just to keep track of what you're doing in your schedule. And always at any convention, honestly, sometimes you're going through the first time and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to buy this. It's a super good deal in your opinion. I can't miss this. It's up to you, but sometimes it's not worth doing that because you may walk 5 more booths down and you're going to see the same thing and it might be $10, $20 cheaper, or you may not see it and it sells. It's one of those games you have to play with yourself to say, okay, should I wait and see if I see one cheaper, or do I risk it and come back? But it might not be there. But you know, if you only bring a certain amount of money with you, I always recommend just kind of waiting to see what happens. But yeah, those are just a couple tips, you know, for Galaxycon and conventions in general. But yeah, next, I did want to share COZ 3D, C-O-Z 3D. These guys were not here last year, but they were here the first year. And I've shown off before some of the things I've gotten from these guys. I've gotten Han Solo's blaster, a thermal detonator, and a pair of binoculars. These guys are fantastic 3D printers. Check them out. They have some super quality stuff. And Galaxycon also had a service for lockers. You could pre-purchase lockers to keep your stuff in. Those sold out like day one, so the odds of you getting those are kind of low, but just, you know, keep that in mind as well. And some of the cosplays I saw on day 2 were awesome too. We got this Snow Trooper, and we also have this Commander Fordo, Captain Fordo. This thing is awesome. So A lot of these guys did some fantastic stuff. The cosplays were great. Again, it was actually so crowded at this convention. It was so crazy. It was hard to stop people to get photos. There was not too much room, and I didn't want to stop people from doing what they were doing either. So that was kind of a missed opportunity, but again, just respecting everybody's space and time. I didn't want to do that to too many people, but there were a ton of amazing cosplays. If I missed you guys, I'm sorry. If you were in this video, comment below where you were. I want to see who all was there. But for the end of the day, you know, I did get to meet Hayden Christensen. I was second in line to see him. Second person to see him for the day. Super excited about that. Got to meet him. Got to meet Tony from Star Wars Sith. Super nice guy. Here's a photo with Gina Carano and, of course, Sam Witwer. So, yeah, guys, I mean, Galaxycon has been super fun the past 3 years, but I will say every single year, this convention gets bigger. They get bigger guests every single year, topping them. But definitely bring a group of friends with you and have a good time. And, yeah. I appreciate Galaxycon, and thank you to Galaxycon for sending me a press badge, and I can't wait to go next year. And tell me what you guys think about the convention if you went. How was your experience? And we'll see you guys in the next one.